What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Process Sports Radio. Once again, we are joined by Balraj from More Than Sports. Another quick episode for you guys, getting right into the NBA talk because that's the hot pressing issue right now. Balraj, let's dive right into it ASAP. Kevin Durant is back in the news once again, this time with another member of the media, Jay Williams on ESPN. They're talking about how Jay Williams and Kevin Durant at a private party had a conversation, and Kevin Durant went up to Jay Williams and said, "Don't ever compare me to Giannis Antetokounmpo ever again." KD, of course, backtracked his statement. What are your thoughts on this KD beef going on once again in the media?
Shout out Kevin Durant. You're the realest person I know because you reply to common people and you tend to go at everyone. So just first of all, respect to that. But we've seen this before. Kevin Durant, once again, making headlines, and not just on the basketball court, but on other news as well, especially with Jay Willis. Jay Willis came out, and the story you just mentioned, it was a great story. I was amped. I was like, no wonder KD's just giving it to Giannis. Like, if you've been watching the series, it's literally Kevin Durant against Giannis, and Giannis can't do anything. It's just Kevin Durant's like, yo, you guys really thought like we're on the same playing field? Again, Kevin Durant's comments or whatever he wants, like that, he's just a very opinionated guy. After the game, the reporter asked him a question like, "Hey KD, how do you feel about coming back? Like, did you ever think you're going to return to health?" He's like, "What kind of fucking question is that?" Like, that's just Kevin Durant. I think at this point we got to get used to it. But going to the basketball side of it again, like, from a skillful standpoint, like Giannis and Kevin Durant, like not even on the same planet. Like they're so far apart. It's like Earth and then like the galaxy we can't even see. Like that's how different the skill level is, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'll let you talk about the rest.
Yeah. So again, I echo your sentiments. Clearly, like Kevin Durant, we know whether I'm pretty sure he had the conversation with Jay Williams about this, and it actually did happen. You just know Kevin Durant's just gonna deny anything in the media because he doesn't want to bring heat on him or any aspect. Or I think he just likes to have drama in the media surrounding him. That's just what he likes. He just likes that. And I think it's huge for him because it also helps. It's like, you don't need to get psyched up for a game, whatever. I think Kevin Durant gets psyched up by clowning with the media, like being a troll. I think, some people are just trolls. Kevin Durant is just a troll. Yeah. But like we were saying, right, it's evident this series that Giannis is athletic, extremely athletic, but he's not a real skillful basketball player. They call him the Greek freak for a reason because he's a freak of nature athletically and physically, not skill-wise, right? Yep. There was a stat I saw. He shoots 33% from the field anywhere 3 feet away from the rim. And you're seeing that right now. They're basically daring him to shoot jump shots right now.
Yeah.
And he cannot hit jump shots. And it's the same thing with Ben Simmons, which we'll touch on Philadelphia in a minute. I believe if you're going to be that true superstar in the game, you have to have different levels to your game. You're seeing it with Kevin Durant. You've seen it with LeBron James. You've seen it with Steph Curry. You can do multiple different facets of your game. Giannis, it doesn't have that many multiple facets of his game. Offensively, defensively, we know he's a stopper, but offensively, he's challenged where it's a Euro step or drive it to the basket.
Literally just a wall. I mean, Blake Griffin's actually doing a great job one-on-one. Like if people have been
Blake Griffin's basically daring Giannis to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
It's actually shooting the ball.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. It's the same thing with Ben Simmons. Like we said, we'll touch upon that after this, but let's just quickly close this out. He's been in the league for I think almost 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. Giannis, right?
Giannis,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, for at least year 7 year 7.
By this time, LeBron was kind of the same. Obviously, LeBron had more talent, but he didn't have a jump shot, and he was kind of the same way. But I would say LeBron was a little bit more smoother out the rim. Like he knew how to
LeBron's jump shot was there. It just wasn't
consistent.
Giannis's jump shot looks broken, right? Like it just looks like. And I think Giannis this summer, once they get knocked out in probably 5 games, right?
Yeah.
Literally just shoot 1,000 jump shots a day.
Yeah.
Right? Because if he can build that, then that pulls them away from the rim. And then again, open up the lanes for him to go drive back to the rim, or it just creates spacing, right? And I think you're seeing that with Milwaukee, where I know remember we talked about last week where, oh wow, like they might have a big 3 with Middleton and Drew Holiday, but it's when you compare to Brooklyn, it's not. And think about it, Brooklyn just beat the brakes off of Milwaukee without James Harden in game 2.
Yeah.
He missed most of game 1.
Yeah.
Right? So it just shows you just how when KD gets in that zone, Kyrie gets in that zone, and Blake's dunking on everybody again, like it's circa 2011.
Yeah.
Right? It's
It's showtime. It's showtime in Brooklyn.
Let's talk about Philly and Atlanta. So that series is tied at 1 right now. And I'm way more impressed with the way the Hawks are playing than the Sixers. So I think the Sixers, Embiid is getting his, but Ben Simmons getting 4 points in a game is unacceptable, especially for a guy that came into this league and people were comparing him to LeBron James.
Yeah.
4 points. Could you imagine somebody of LeBron's caliber getting 4 points in a game? I get it. He's a great defensive player. I get it. He's got the passing ability. He does more than scoring. But again, if you are truly going to be a superstar in this game or considered that type of player, you need to be able to shoot the ball.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that has taken me by surprise, but not really, is that the scores in the game have been so high. Like everybody hits 120 plus. It seems like it's ridiculous how
it's a different game than it was before.
Yeah, like for me, it's still very hard to be like Ben Simmons, great player, doesn't really take the shot, doesn't even attempt a shot. So whoever that defender is just looking at him, just like I'm just standing there. He's looking at somebody else to help off. So Ben Simmons is literally not even a decoy, like worse. So that means whoever is helping on that side could go double Joel Embiid. And that's the Sixers. And they got a great coach in Doc Rivers. And I feel like Doc's been trying to implement like Ben Simmons. And like, obviously like yesterday, like once they're in the fast break, Ben Simmons has great vision. That's where his strengths are, right? But again, the Sixers are going to Embiid. And like Embiid is literally jacking up like every shot. Like that's what it seems like to me. Shout out to the other guy. What was his name that came in yesterday?
Jake Milton.
Dude, that legit like Lou Will off like that's what Lou Will was supposed to be doing for the Hawks.
Really, Shake Milton helped the Sixers basically win that game.
He did win that game for them because he went on that stretch by himself.
And Atlanta was playing well early on.
They were up.
I think they're up at halftime. It was really tight at halftime.
They're up like 6 or 7 in the third late.
You were thinking, I was thinking in my head, wow, like Atlanta might steal both games.
Yeah.
Really.
The trade didn't play well.
It depends on Embiid's health, and I think Tobias Harris needs to step up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think Seth Curry's been playing really well this playoffs.
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah.
Seth Curry he's not Steph Curry, but he's been hitting his threes on a very good level right now.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think you need Ben Simmons to do more offensively to help put them over the top because Atlanta's got guys that can score. John Collins, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Clint Capella can get you 15 on it, right? Of course, Lou Will off the bench.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, and if you're going down to Atlanta where that crowd's going to be fired up, can Philly finally, put some games together on the road and show that toughness? I don't know.
Yeah, like I think Atlanta is gonna be crazy, bro. They got like those A1s, like A-tier celebrities always on the side and stuff like that, and they love Atlanta right now. Atlanta's popping because like Trae Young and like Bogey, like they've brought that. Like they're two ice cold players where they actually love when the crowd's like yelling at them and stuff like that. Like you said, like Bogey was like 6-7 times. Like I'm like, yo, this guy's cold, and I don't know if the Sixers have enough like cold or like dog players to go up against Atlanta because Atlanta has like a lot of players like that.
I think you're absolutely right. I think I know Embiid wants it. Embiid,
I do too. Yeah,
he can't stay healthy, but Embiid wants to win. Yeah. I don't know about that with Ben Simmons. Sometimes I think Ben Simmons likes to be an NBA superstar rather than being a winning player. He likes all that comes with being an NBA superstar, but he doesn't prove it on a nightly basis when it matters the most.
Yeah.
Right? So I think Trae Young, he likes play. You saw him in Madison Square Garden. You saw him. He wanted that attention with that crowd. You saw Bogdanovich, right?
Yeah.
In Philly when he shushed the crowd, like we just said, right? You see that type of mentality, and you need that in the playoffs. Like you saw Chris Paul and Jay Crowder dancing after they knocked the Lakers out, right? Like you need that type of like that dog mentality, right? You need that type of like that alpha that I don't give a shit. Like I don't care where we are. I'm gonna put the ball in the bucket, no matter how much this crowd boos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and you need that toughness, and I don't think Philly has that toughness with a guy like Ben Simmons.
And I just feel like Trae Young, every single game he plays, he just gets better and better. Like his confidence
more confidence.
And when he's in Atlanta, bro, that crowd's crazy. I'm telling you. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta wins both games and then they close out in 6.
I honestly I was thinking Philly. I think I said Philly in 5, right?
Yeah.
But after seeing Embiid, we don't know what his health's like. Ben Simmons is always iffy. I could really see Atlanta winning this series now. Like I could really legitimately see Atlanta winning maybe in 6 games, like you said, possibly 7, because they can win in Philly. They've shown they've won in Philly. And if Philly hasn't shown through the Simmons and Embiid era, they can get over that hump. We saw them lose in Game 7 to Toronto. Of course, Kawhi hit one of the luckiest shots ever, according to Skip Bayless. But even then, you never can trust. Just like Milwaukee, you can't trust them. You can't trust them when it matters the most. Yeah. Clippers, Jazz last night. Yeah, Jazz crowd was electric last night.
D Wade, shout out to D Wade.
Yeah, D Wade was with Gabrielle Union.
Yeah,
but they were they're jacked up yesterday.
Yeah, 100%.
Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year over Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah.
But I was very impressed with what I saw with Utah because they shot the ball poorly in the first half, and Donovan Mitchell took the ball and took over the game, and that we didn't see that from Kawhi or PG. That nobody didn't take the game over. Donovan Mitchell took the game over.
Yeah, I mean. Paul George. Love Paul George. I felt like he played like somewhat decent in the last series, but again, Paul George said there's no way.
I think Paul George had good numbers, but if you look at Game 5, 6, and 7,
he didn't pass your eye test. That's what you're saying.
He shot below 30 or below 40%.
Yeah, because Kawhi was going ham the last 2 games. Kawhi wasn't losing.
Kawhi went basically 2019 Kawhi mode, where it's give me the ball, get out of my way, I'll get all the buckets, right? And you saw, especially in Game 6, man. Game 6 in Dallas, those last couple minutes down the stretch, is his ball, and everything you knew that ball was gonna go in right when he shot it.
Like Paul George again, like I mean, I feel like he'll show up. Like Kawhi was kind of doing his thing, and like Morris was kind of doing his thing in the first. Luke Kennard, shout out to the lefty, just came in. It was fired because he wasn't getting any playing minutes. He only got playing minutes in Game 7, like the end of Game 7 with the Mavericks. Came in a couple of shots, and now all of a sudden he has like a rhythm. So I think he might be in the rotation. But again, let's go to the Jazz because Donovan Mitchell just all of a sudden when no shots, like Utah had really good open looks in the beginning, but they just weren't knocking them down. And then Donovan Mitchell was just like, guys, like this is why I am compared to Dwayne Wade. I got D Wade on the side here. That's my idol. I'm going to show him why I'm on his level, on my way up to his level. So shout out to Donovan Mitchell. And the Utah Jazz have been like the best team in the all season. Like they just play really great. And shout out to Jordan Clarkson, who all of a sudden just like turned it around, became the 6th man of the year. Like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, he was with LeBron in the East finals, and like LeBron had no help. But again, LeBron's the system, and I just feel like Jordan Clarkson just fit in really good with the Jazz, and he's perfectly what they need.
And here's the thing: the funny thing about Utah is the guy that came second in voting for the 6th man of the year is on the Utah Jazz as well, Joe Ingles, right? Utah is a very deep team. Now, I think that the comparisons to Dwayne Wade, I disagree with that because when you look at Dwayne Wade when he first came in the league.
Yeah.
What did he do in those first finals appearance? He averaged 35 points a game, won finals MVP. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to compare him to Donovan Mitchell to Dwayne Wade at this particular juncture now. But I do see the similarities in the styles they play and stuff like that. I definitely
I'm only comparing it from just the skill set and just how their games are the same way. Definitely, not from an accomplishment.
Okay, I'll agree with the skill set in that aspect where I think that they have similar skill sets and stuff like that. But man, I thought the Clippers, it's still early, right? But I thought the Clippers finally getting over that hump, it'll give them so much more confidence, especially a guy like Paul George, because they finally made it past the first round. But I think it is what it is with Paul George. It's a mental thing, right? Where he just, I don't know what it is with Paul George in the playoffs. He was the, top 3 MVP voting a couple of years ago. Couldn't do it in Oklahoma City. I think ever since that injury happened, he was not the playoff performer he was early on in Indiana.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and I think if this Clippers team is going to get past Utah, they're going to need Kawhi to be Kawhi like he was in Game 6 and 7 against Dallas to move past this Utah team, which is very, very, very deep.
Very, very deep and very, very well coached. Quinn Snyder?
Mike Conley last night too. They were missing their starting point guard. MVP Nikola Jokic. Can I get your opinion on that quickly? Was he a good choice for MVP?
Shout out for Nikola Jokic for winning MVP for the centers out there. Last guy to win it was Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not going to compare the two because I have my favorite, but obviously a totally different center. I think Nikola Jokic got it. I think it was well deserved. A lot of people thought it should have been Joel Embiid, but to me, like Joel Embiid just was like too inconsistent, like in and out of the lineup.
He wasn't healthy. Yeah, he wasn't healthy.
I mean, LeBron was a top 3 candidate, and that all went to hell after that. But anyways, well deserved. Really, just a totally different player. Like plays at his own pace. Really good passing center, probably one of the best we've ever seen. Really high IQ.
He's one of the best passers in the league.
Yeah,
he's a center.
And he brings up the ball. So like he's just a very unorthodox type of player. I feel like the NBA is still adjusting on how to guard Jokic. Anyway, let's get to the series. Game 1. Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets were like up for a little bit. And then all of a sudden the Suns in the second half, like mid third quarter, just went on this bizarre, crazy run. Like it reminded me of the Golden State Warriors when like Steph would hit a 3. And then all of a sudden the place is rocking, Oracle's going crazy. It was kind of like that. And I feel like our younger viewers don't really know how like the Phoenix crowd was. But like Phoenix back in the day when they had D'Antoni, Steve Nash, Sean Marion, what's our boy, the number 101, Joe Johnson, how you can bring up Joe Johnson, right? They were like, that crowd was rocking back in the day, and they've been waiting a long time for their team to be relevant and going into the playoffs. And again, like for me, I've been comparing a lot of people to Kobe Bryant because they all have like similar skill sets to Kobe, but I think we have a leader, and that is Devin Booker, who is slowly pushing his way towards that Kobe, because I always compare Tatum, but Tatum doesn't have the cockiness in him, but like Book wants it. And Book, every time he goes up against, is always trash talking people, the defender and stuff like that. So, like Book is just going crazy, and CP's just got everything under control. Like he is the like general, like he knows he's going to get you a really high quality shot every single time. So, but I still think this will go 7.
I'm going to go out on it right now and put my allegiances to the Phoenix Suns. I'm cheering for the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA championship this year, because like you said, I love Devin Booker's game. His mid-range game is Kobe-esque. His mentality is Kobe-esque. I think Kobe was more athletic than Devin Booker. Yeah. Kobe was a lot more athletic than Devin Booker, but I agree, that mentality that Devin Booker has, I love it. I think you're seeing the Chris Paul effect. Yeah. Chris Paul came to this team that had not made the playoffs in 10 years, like you said, right? Chris Paul comes to this team. They're a second seed in the Western Conference. I remember when he got traded to the Phoenix Suns, me and you were talking on a podcast back then. And I said, this doesn't really push the needle. They're still going to be a 7-9, 7 to 9 seed, right? Yeah. Was I wrong. The way Chris Paul is able to come in, take control of this team, and just put everybody in the right positions. He is the ultimate floor general. You saw on that in the game on what day? Game 1 was it the other day on, was it Monday night? Yeah. Monday night, you saw Chris Paul come in and he scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. Just take a game over and get a bucket when your team needs a bucket. Yeah. And I love Monty Williams as the coach. I think they're young, they're hungry. They got guys like Jay Crowder, who's been around the playoff block. I love DeAndre Ayton's game. He's evolving as a better center now. You have Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne. You have these young pieces. I want the Phoenix Suns to win the title, and I think they actually have a very good chance of making it to the finals and Chris Paul finally getting his first NBA championship.
Yeah, there's so many storylines in the West, especially. Is like, the Suns have been relevant. Now they got like someone that's similar to like basically Steve Nash. Like Steve Nash and Chris Paul are like
very similar,
very similar players. And Steve Nash had the same effect when he came, and they were like going crazy. They had the second seed, but they lost. They didn't have defense. But this Suns team, they like to play defense. Just ask the Lakers, bro. Like LeBron saw like 10 eyes every single time. But yeah, I mean, I would like the Suns to reach the finals, but there's a different beast in the East.
We have some non-playoff news. Of course, the Lakers just got eliminated last week, but LeBron is back in the news. He is changing his number. He's ditching 23 and going back to number 6. Does that mean we're going to see Miami LeBron in LA?
Yo, like, I don't know, like LeBron low-key just does like the gimmicky ass things. Like, I don't even know, like, he said that like 2 years ago that they were going to change the numbers and they didn't. And then like, I don't know, man. That's to think that LeBron's gonna go back to Miami LeBron. That's just really tough because Miami LeBron was just a totally different animal. Like that's a lot asking. But
for those of you wondering, I was absolutely joking. I was not saying that LeBron is actually gonna be LeBron.
No, but like there are people out there that are just such diehard LeBron fans that they're like, yo, if he changes to number 6, yo, what if he's thinking of going back to like the Miami LeBron? Maybe he puts on like 30-40 pounds and goes back to like 280, and like probably not, because I think he's just doing it from a business standpoint, because he had, like, again, we were talking earlier, NBA jerseys, LeBron's number 1, right? And I feel like the number 1 jersey they got is that light blue jersey they had on Christmas Day with the white that jersey is so cold, and I feel like that's why a lot of people bought it. But now he changes his jersey number again, and Luka was second. I feel like Luka would have surpassed him in the jersey sales, but now he's changing his number, so that means you got to get a 6 LeBron James jersey.
1000%. That's exactly why he did it. What is it? He has a new movie coming out, Space Jam, next month, right?
Is he wearing 6 in that?
Yeah, exactly. That's the tweet. The tweets were because he's wearing 6 in Space Jam, he's gonna sort of 6 in the NBA.
Business move.
The smart. It's a bit LeBron staying relevant and making sure his jerseys are always be number 1. So all those LeBron fans that have a number 23 Lakers jersey, like myself, are gonna have to buy a number 6 Lakers jersey now because LeBron changed his number.
I got a better like thing. I stay here. Look, Anthony Davis is going back to number 23. So does that mean we get the New Orleans Anthony Davis?
But here's the thing. Look, Anthony Davis said he's going to stay with number 3.
Oh, man, come
on.
So
nobody's wearing number 23. And you know what I saw on Twitter? They were saying that they should retire number 23 for LeBron with the Lakers.
That is blasphemous.
I don't know if this is just delusional fans or whatnot, but people thinking that LeBron's an all-time great Los Angeles Laker absolutely baffles me because that franchise has had so many great players, and LeBron won 1 title, right? Give him that. But in 2 of the 3 seasons he missed, did not make the playoffs and got bounced in the first round. He is not in the same level as Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Shaq, Jerry West, right? So LeBron is not a top 5 Laker of all time. So please kill that narrative.
I think, there's a lot of delusional fans out there, and this is why we're here to give you guys like the real deal. And there's no way ever, actually not ever, if LeBron wins like 3-4 chips with the Lakers, they'll think about it because there's still a lot of people he has to surpass. The only place LeBron's jersey, in my opinion, should be retired at 23 is Cleveland.
I tend to agree with you on that. I think that when you look at LeBron's career, of course, for sure, like he is the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise, right? In Miami, you could make an argument that he deserves to have his number retired in Miami. They probably will retire his number.
I think so. They will. Yeah.
Right.
But he doesn't get a statue there though.
No, like LeBron in Cleveland, he is the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise, right?
Yeah.
Miami, that's Dwayne Wade's franchise.
Wade County, baby.
That's Wade County, right? The Lakers will never be LeBron's franchise ever.
Ever.
Never. Right.
There's still diehard Kobe fans that
belongs to Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. You can battle to see who's the greatest Laker of all time. I think it's Kobe, but a lot of people think it's Magic, right?
Yeah, I think it's Kobe too.
It's a toss-up, right? But both like you will never surpass Kobe and Magic because those two guys are so synonymous with LA. He will never be that. Right?
Yeah, never.
We will be back next week again for an NBA talk again. We want to thank you guys for listening and stay tuned for more great content. Make sure to like and subscribe to all of our stuff on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram. You know the drill. Take care, guys. Stay safe.